my first question is, what made you say yes to working with me and joining the Health Concierge?
Um, I feel like I'd been going in circles for so long. And so finally, when it kind of came down to taking the decision, it was really scary.
Yeah.
But I did feel like it would be a good, I don't know, I was kind of open, just open to trying it because I think coaching is quite a different experience altogether.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember I was like afraid to say yes, but then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna say yes and deal with the consequences after.
Beautiful.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And what were you, if you could describe what you were struggling with before you joined, either emotionally, physically, or energetically, how would you describe that?
yeah, I remember feeling super lost, and especially professionally.
Yeah.
And I was feeling just really stuck, like I wasn't super happy with where I was in my career. And then I started feeling like I needed to be way ahead and doing just kind of what all my peers were doing, because it seemed like everyone around me was doing so much and succeeding and thriving and just like on completely different wavelengths. Um, and so it was like the external pressure and the internal pressure. And, but I was also like, but this doesn't feel right to me.
Mm,
And especially thinking about like the confines of doing a 9 to 5 and all the noise around that, like that kind of go, 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 hustle mentality was something that I felt like I needed to do, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I didn't have
yeah.
the energy or the motivation for it.
Yeah. And so how has your relationship with your energy shifted through this experience?
I definitely feel a lot more aware
Mm,
of it, and I feel a lot more grounded in that I kind of have a better sense of who I am and what my strengths and gifts are. And therefore, like I listen to my body a little bit more in terms of knowing that, like I think we had this in one of like before one of our sessions, which is that I had this one day where I just didn't feel like I could do any kind of physical work. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to burden myself with thinking that I should do the work,
Yeah.
but not be able to actually do it and then just sit in a spiral for the entire day.
Yeah.
Instead, what are things that I can do that are still feel kind of productive, but not necessarily contributing to my kind of professional work?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely feel like those are some of the key shifts.
Mm. And was there a moment during the program that you felt like there was a breakthrough for you?
Think it happened, I think it was like like around our fourth or fifth session. We'd done the human design, and I feel like that was um just like so incredibly helpful. Also, I did human design for my whole family, and now they're obsessed. Um, and they're literally obsessed. It's so funny. But I think so like even though I kind of cognitively understood the human design when you explained it to me and like even kind of going through and reading on my own, I think the consistency and like reading up about it has helped was is what was helping me internalize it. But then I felt the breakthrough moment when I actually had somebody ask me for my in insights, I think, and then me saying it and the way they received it
Mm.
was like infinitely better. And this is a person who historically like they would kind of use me as their sounding board. And so then if I would respond with like whatever I was coming up for me, it's just used to go over their heads. And it
Mm.
was like they weren't actually listening versus when they literally told me, what do you think? And then I told them and they were like, wow, light bulb moment.
Beautiful. What surprised you about this journey that you weren't expecting?
Honestly, I kind of went in not knowing anything
Yeah.
and I was very open to what would come up. I think the surprising part for me, which is still something maybe that I'm kind of working through, is this fear aspect. And what you said about, fear basically points us to things that we need to know. So how do you flip that
Mm.
and be like, okay, this is the fear that's coming up. So what does that actually mean? Like, what do I need to put into place then? And what is it trying to tell me? I think that is something that I like need to continue to actively work on, and is something that I didn't really expect.
Mm,
And then aside from that, I think also like at some level, the fundamental shift in confidence.
yeah.
And I did feel like my confidence has improved over the years, but I feel like that was kind of limited to certain spaces and settings and with certain people, versus now having that kind of clarity and just recognition of like who I am and what feels good versus what doesn't
Mm.
has innately made me a little bit more confident and assertive, which is definitely quite new and different for me.
Beautiful. So what would you say to someone who maybe they're successful even on the outside, but secretly depleted, or just not feeling this harmony, let's say personally and professionally?
Mhm.
What would you say to that person?
To come talk to you. I really think so, because I think also like your approach in integrating the nutrition, the movement, the sleep, the everything, and of course like the kind of core energetic alignment is fundamentally important. And people who are successful on the outside but feel depleted on the inside, well, it's possible that something is happening internally that they're not aware of.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So who do you think really needs the health concierge, even if they don't know it yet?
I feel like the people who think that they're okay and they're doing well, but like even like people like I can see it in people in my life too,
Yeah.
where I'm like you say that you're kind of evolved
Yeah.
spiritually and energetically and all of these things, but there are still things that will like trigger them very
Yeah.
easily. And there are still things that they'll say which kind of come across a bit mindless and instead of being mindful. And so I think all those things, it could benefit, they could benefit from working with you.